Welcome back to Horns High Studios for another episode of Throwing the Horns, brought to you by Horns High Productions. Episode 3 is going down here tonight, and thanks to all you guys for checking this new podcast out. It's still a new channel, trying to build up that subscriber list. So please take a sec, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with all your metalhead friends. And we've had, a good few comments so far on the channel, Shane. I mean, it's nice to get some, some feedback from some of these guys. Yeah. And this one guy, Soulburn6671, said one hell of a first episode. So that was nice to see, that's for sure. Did you see that second one there, Gene?
Gene Lynn said, got to support the underground, and we really appreciate the comments. Please drop one below.
Yeah, definitely. It's just good to get that stuff. So we'll read them. I mean, we may get some bad ones, though, Shane, but, that's all right.
Oh, well, yeah.
Nothing wrong.
All press is good press,
That's right. That's right. So... but we get some great releases last week that, definitely if you missed this one, but we talked about Necrot, Last Resistance, who I really like, Shane. You turned me on to that. Acrid Death and Replicant, which I really love those guys. We also talked about some metal news, the Beavis and Butthead skit on Saturday Night Live. That auction of the Chuck Schuldiner guitar, and how did that end up, Shane?
I thought that was crazy. $31,000 for Chuck's guitar, man. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah, definitely. So good stuff. So if you missed it, go watch the last episode. But I'm one of the hosts of the Murder Metal Mayhem podcast. Shane is one of our guest co-hosts that comes on talking about true crime, talking about heavy metal. So if you like those things, you could go check it out. Shane, we just had you on talking about some Bruce McArthur. That was...
Oh, yeah.
That was
crazy.
Gruesome.
Good time.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, so we do true crime on the Murder Metal Mayhem YouTube channel. So we do true crime and metal, kind of mixing it up. But this is our metal channel. And Shane, it has been a wild week again for metal releases, man. I mean...
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow. But... I know that most metalheads have different ways or like rituals maybe when they're checking out a new release, but when it comes to a new album, do you find the best ones kind of grab you on the first listen, or do they kind of grow on you?
You know what, Pete? Most of the time after one listen, I'll know if I like something or not. I'll know if it's hitting the spot. Because I'm usually looking for something within my genre. But, if it's something entirely out of my standard wheelhouse, I'll give it a chance in a few different environments. And by that, I mean, sometimes I can't listen to something fast and technical while I'm driving because I'm trying to pay attention to traffic. And so if I don't give the music my full attention, it just kind of ends up sounding like a wall of noise in the background. So... if it's something that I've heard is good and everybody's talking about, I'll take it home. I'll put in some headphones, give it the attention it deserves. And, while I'm sitting back, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, I'll listen to it. And, I've had quite a few albums grow on me. And I'll give you an example of one that I know you don't like, but this is going back many years now. And it's not even really metal, but Mr. Bungle, that one really grew on me. After about 5, rounds of that, I was like, holy shit, yeah, this is great.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, it's interesting, though. I was thinking about that today when I was getting together for this, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to ask Shane how he does it, because I know we both are all about the car test. When we get something we know we dig, we go take it out in the car and jam it. I was doing that today, just throwing down, getting ready for some new stuff coming out tomorrow. But for me, it's not always the same. I've had some great albums hit hard on that first listen. One that comes to mind, Shane, that Judas Priest, the last one, just so amazing. And Blood Red Throne, Nonagon, definitely another one that hit me in the Jimmy right out of the box. But, some, like you said, they take a little while to grow on you. I know with me, it seems like the ones that take a little while to grow on me stay with me a little longer. But, it could be, just me and my old brain thinking that. I don't know. But the challenge is with all this new stuff coming out, I mean, holy crap. I mean, it's like trying to drink from a friggin' fire hose, it's nuts. So there's just so much coming out. Man. It's like, I want to listen to this album more, but I've got like 5 more I got to get to, it's pretty crazy, So
bookmark something, mentally, and like, I got to come back to this, and
I know,
and then it's gone. You don't find it till months later, and it's like, oh shit, yeah, I remember downloading this.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is wild how that happens, but it does. I mean, it happens to me all the time. I try to keep up with it, but well, Shane, I mean, I know we love turning each other on to new metal. We're, texting each other, hey, check this out, check that out. Sometimes I just can't keep up with all this stuff, but you're going to talk about a couple of, new releases that I think are more than worthy of throwing the horns here. So what did you want to talk about, dude?
Oh, hell yeah, man. First one I wanted to talk about here is Griefgod. And I just love this cover, man. They just dropped their debut album titled Deterioration. These guys are a 5-piece band out of Lithuania and unsigned, so independent release. And I really can't see him being unsigned for very long because, man, this album is fucking fire.
Yeah, it's amazing, dude. I really dig these guys.
These guys have been around since 2019 under the name of Gilza. But this year, 2024, they rebranded to Griefgod, and good choice, man. Great album title, or a great band name. And this album's just a great listening experience. I hear a lot of Gojira influence in this album. Everything from the dissonant chords to the bends, to rhythms, harmonics. It's definitely not a Gojira clone, though. It's more like somebody took Gojira and cranked up the death metal of it to about 11. So, yeah, it's a little bit more death metal than Gojira. Now, I'm a big fan of Gojira, even the newer stuff, even though it's a bit more mainstream or commercial. So, you know what? This album was a natural fit for me. And the production, the sound, it's all very professional. It's heavy as hell. The death metal vocals definitely set it apart from being a Gojira clone. And the singer has a very deep growl. The riffs are both crushing and groovy at the same time. And then there's a little injection of prog metal in there and a lot of old school death metal.
Yeah, that artwork, I want a shirt with that on it. I need to see if they've got one because that's just so brutal, man.
Yeah.
So brutal.
Man. Yeah, this is just a solid album, man. And, here's the fun thing about the album, and I don't know why I noticed this, but my pattern recognition skills were going off. And so the first half of the album, the song lyrics, all start out with the name of the track. So those are the first words of the song. In the latter half of the album, the song lyrics all end with the name of the track.
That's crazy.
So the last word in the song is actually the track title.
Wow.
And, I don't know why this stood out to me, but whatever.
That's wild. Yeah, that's like a mind fuck. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the last song doesn't follow this pattern, but whatever. I don't know why they wouldn't have carried that on, or if they didn't notice. They had to have noticed.
Yeah, they had to have noticed. That's funny. Yeah, that's cool.
So if you like Gojira, but thought, it would even be better if this was more death metal-y, then you really need to check this shit out, man. I've had it on repeat a few times now, and this is definitely a contender for me in this year's top 10.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Definitely.
Next one I found here was Dead Tree Seeds. They just dropped a new album titled Toxic Thoughts last week. And these guys are a 5-piece from France. I was going to do a Coneheads reference here, but then I realized, fuck, that movie's 30 years old. So whatever. And but yeah, if you know it, you know it. But anyways, this is just a killer thrash album. The singing is in English, so no worries about that. But you can clearly hear a French accent, and I find it kind of amusing. War is murder, so. Not kind of like Inspector Clouseau, but you can't hear the accent.
That's cool.
Yeah, they sing a lot about a lot of the standard thrash metal tropes, war, corruption, repression, rebellion, abuse of power, and this
Right.
really sounds like just old school Bay Area thrash, man. It just fits right in there.
Hell yeah.
The guys look like they're from that era too, they're middle-aged guys, kind of like us, Pete, and
Right.
there's definitely some Slayer Exodus worship going on here, man, and I'd throw in a bit of Creator too, and
Nice.
production is great, killer drums, thick, speedy riffs, guitars with lots of catchy, thrashy riffs, good range on the vocals. He's mostly a mid-ranged, more of a growl, snarl, shout, but he does hit the higher notes, and he will pull out the vibrato at times. This is just solid, uncompromising thrash. Go check out their YouTube.
Yeah, I listened to a couple of songs of it, and I liked it. That's one of those ones I need to get to because I haven't heard much of it, but I did like it though. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, man. It's I've been enjoying it. It's very catchy. And like I say, it's just everything about it is good, even right down to the French accent singing. And check out their videos. They got some pretty cool videos, a couple new videos for their album. And the bassist, he looks totally like an accountant.
That's funny. Very cool.
And how about you, Pete, man? You just laid some fucking fire on me this week, man. A couple of great releases. One of them is actually right up for me, man. It was just a bloody good release. So,
oh yeah,
lay it on us, man.
Definitely. The metal just keeps on coming. It's just been so damn brutal. I've been on this death metal kick here now for a few months, and occasionally I'll get off the train for a stop or two, but I'm right back on it soon after, and I just can't get enough. And I got a couple of good ones myself. I mean, huge thanks to Thralls of Metal and Heavy Metal Philosophy for the great content they dish out. Found a lot of good stuff out from watching those guys. So hell yeah. First one I want to get to is this Atrae Bilis and their new album, Homicide. Definitely killer. If you've seen this band's name spelled out, the A and the E at the end are kind of weird. Its name is Latin for black bile. So I'm guessing those are Latin letters, but it's kind of weird looking if you see that. But you'll know you're right if you see those letters at the end. But anyway, these guys are interesting. A lot of made up words and song titles, very creative. Classified as a technical death metal band. I would agree with that to an extent, but they definitely do some things that are kind of outside the box. 4-piece British Columbia band, Shane. So some Canadian boys there, and they've been around since 2018. They got one full length, or they have one other full length album. This one is on $20 spin. They put out some really great stuff. Really like that label. Homicide is 10 songs, 40 minutes long. Production is strong, very badass. You get your money's worth with this one. Every song is killer. I mean, total banger, one after the other. Their writing is very unique, I think, for death metal, but it's very heavy. And the tremendous talent these guys have shows. Very impressive. Vocals are classic death metal growls, but he does do some different things there. And it's definitely, like I said, I think outside the box. Occasionally he'll bust into some more like throaty, like death metal stuff. But again, he's very versatile. I got to give him that. The cover art is equally unique with this weird baby attached to cables in the womb, which is definitely different. Definitely go check these guys out. If you like death, technical death, but with some unique flavor to it. It's not just, a cookie cutter in any way. So.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Pete, man, this was just one wild ride. And this was one of those ones where I actually had to sit down, take a breath, listen to this with headphones so I could concentrate on it and nothing else. It's very involved and technical. And, if it doesn't click for you right away, you got to, give it a chance and really listen to it, because the parts, they do fit together in their own unique way. It's weird. It has a lot of energy and intense moments and experimental sounds. I don't know how much of a fan I am of that one effect they do. They kind of overdo it. I like it on the vocals, but there's one song in particular where they replay this effect quite a bit. And
yes.
It's like a stutter almost, or it's cutting in and out really quick.
Right. Yeah, I don't know
I
what
really
you
liked
call
it
that.
on the vocals, though. It was pretty unique.
Yeah, they do use that quite a bit. But yeah, it's solid, man. This is definitely wicked. Very, very interesting stuff. So I dig this one. And then this one, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
This one completely blew my mind because it is so good. And I'm talking about Bloody Falls from Finland. They got this new album called Amartia. Incredible. The word Amartia or Amartia comes from a Hebrew and Greek word that translates to all have sinned or missed the mark. These guys are a 5-piece band, 2 guitars and a separate singer. They started out in 2013 as Exiled Genesis, but then changed it to Bloody Falls in 2017. They've got 2 other full-length albums, and Amartia just came out here a week ago. The name of the band is interesting. I was curious because when I searched for them, I found this Wikipedia page. I think that was the same one you saw, Shane. And Bloody Falls is like a massacre. It was, of course, doing a true crime podcast. I'm like, what's up with that? And
Yeah.
I learned that in the 1700s in Canada, there was this slaughter of 20 Inuits in a area that they later called Bloody Falls. So I don't know exactly where in Canada off the top of my head. Shane, do you know where it was at?
Way the hell up north, somewhere
Really?
off of the Hudson Bay, but yeah, really, really far up north.
Gotcha. So I thought this was interesting for a band from Finland to use this Canadian legend. Very interesting. And what is up with Finland lately? Holy crap, man. I mean,
They've been bringing it, man.
so many great bands. I mean, Dead Talks, Corpse Molester Cult. We were just talking about the band, the one we were just talking about before we did this. Another great Finland. Oh, Baron. Amazing. These bands from Finland. So very, very impressive, guys. But this band is a very different blending of styles. I always like to see that stuff. They've definitely got their death metal roots. I hear a little bit of black metal. Tremendous musicians. The singer really mixes it up, going from like growling death to more like classic metal vocals at times. But I'm not usually a fan of that, like mixing it, but I like what he does. It's different, but it's something that's, not something I would typically gravitate to. But in this case, I am. It's very unique. I really love the way they put the songs together. It's 8 songs, 42 minutes long. The cover art is very, very unique. I'm not entirely sure what's up here, but if I was to venture a guess, there's a couple different songs about death and meeting your, death in the end and this sort of thing. So I'm guessing it's got something to do with that and their whole missing the mark with the Amartia thing is, maybe, something related to the battlefield and that sort of thing. So possibly that. And I did see a song called Curse of the Mark. So a lot of references to that within this album. Definitely some big time diversity here from a metalhead. And these guys crush it, man. I really, really like this one. I don't have a favorite song because, every one of them is great. But I mean, I did, have a couple here to just, I really dig at the time, but it keeps evolving. And that's when I know an album's going to stick as it changes. But I Will Be Your End and The Way of Sin, definitely really good. The whole thing just crushes it, though. Really like this one. And Shane, I know you like this one as well.
Oh, hell yeah, man. I really love this one, Pete, man. This is just an explosive album. Like you say, it's just a mix of old school and more contemporary elements. And, this one really left an impact on me. It goes from fast riffing to more melodic parts, and some of it has a slower grind and ominous sounding, harsher vocals to cleaner vocals, and even has some symphonic touches to it. And, I really liked it. This was very enjoyable.
Yeah. And I'm not usually a fan of any kind of keyboards, but these guys do it tastefully at certain spots, and it's actually I like it.
I'm with you, man.
Do. Really good stuff. So, man, can't recommend this one enough, man. Bloody Falls, really good stuff.
Bloody good stuff.
Bloody good stuff. So what about some new stuff getting ready to come out, Shane? What are you excited about, man?
Necrophagia. They got a new album coming out.
Yeah.
Moribundus Grim on May 10th. And then on May 24th, we have Evil Dead coming out with a new album, Toxic Grace. And Evil Dead, they're just fun, classic, punchy thrash.
Oh, yeah.
Another good one should be 200 Stab Wounds. They're June 28th, coming out with the new album, Manual Manic Procedures. And I actually didn't check these guys out until fairly recently. Their new album their last album had already been out for a couple of years before I checked it out. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to hearing this one.
Yeah, I love the single they came out with. I haven't heard the one before the last one. I heard maybe a song off it, and it wasn't really getting me, so I never really went back to it. But I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's not bad. Another one back from years long ago, Flotsam and Jetsam. They're going to be releasing a new album sometime this year. Don't know when, but that's word on the street, man.
That's awesome. Definitely.
Yeah, then another one that I'm kind of disappointed in is Pestilence. They're releasing a compilation of re-releases. And I've heard a couple tracks off it. And from what I've heard, I really wasn't impressed. It kind of sounded like shit, quite frankly.
Wow.
Yeah, production-wise anyways. I mean, I love Pestilence.
Sure.
Testimony of the Ancients was one I really listened to a lot. And,
right.
And it sounded great, so I'm not sure what's going on here. It's just missing the mark for me.
Wow. Yeah, that's too bad. Well, I know I'm completely stoked for that new Tombstoner album coming out here at midnight tonight. When this episode comes out, of course, it'll already be out for a few days, but I'm definitely going to cover that one next week. The last album is killer, Victims of Vile Torture, and I've been jamming that all day today in anticipation of this new album coming. The singles have been really good, so definitely anxious for that. As you mentioned, that 200 Stab Wounds, that single I heard was really good. And so I'm going to go back and listen to the one before because definitely would like to hear more of that. And like you said, Flotsam and Jetsam, just such a classic band. I really love everything they've done. I really dig those guys and just sticking with it, man. I know it's not easy at their age to do it. And hats off to them. But what about some other news in the world of heavy metal, Shane? You wanted to talk about some stuff here.
A few things here. Did you see Ozzy in the news recently?
Yeah, I did see something about him.
Yeah, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and most metalheads go whoop-de-fucking-do, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But
I didn't realize he wasn't in there. I know Sabbath is in there because I was there. I went to it with my wife, and my brother-in-law lives there in Cleveland. So we went there a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, and I saw Sabbath, but I didn't know Ozzy wasn't in there. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is a farce.
Yeah, but good on him anyways. I mean,
Sure.
it's cool for
Yeah.
him, and it's always nice to be recognized for something. And
Oh, yeah.
rock and roll is his religion and his God after all. So,
That's right. That's right. Hell yeah.
And something else here, my favorite band from 2023, As in Hell, released
Oh,
a new
dude.
video, Pyromantic Scryer, and this is actually from their last album, but they're just releasing the video now. And so go check out that. And they're touring in Europe right now. Unfortunately, I didn't see any North American dates. And they're touring with another one of my favorites from last year, Endseeker. And then they're doing a few shows with Alien Weaponry and Sycomania. And so, yeah, go check out the video. And we actually had the opportunity to interview the vocalist, Mark Greawies. And then that was fun. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Another one in my top 10 last year was Frozen Soul. They put out a new video, and they did a remake of White Zombie's Creature of the Wheel from the Astro Creep 2000 album. It's a fun song, and they're on tour right now with some heavy hitters, as you can see here.
Wow.
We got Amon Amarth, Cannibal Corpse, and Obituary. So, man, they're right
That's
up there with
impressive,
some
man.
heavy hitters. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
they're going to
great.
get a lot of new fans after this tour.
Yeah, they're a killer band. You turned me on to them, man. Just so good. And that's great that they're getting that exposure, because that's fantastic, man. That's really cool.
Couple other things. Megadeth is on tour again, of course. Like, when isn't Dave on tour? But yeah, he's still going at it. He's going at it with Mudvayne this time.
I saw
and
Mudvayne. Yeah, it's like, really? You know? Yeah, of course,
gotta
where
give
I'm
Dave credit, though.
where
he's
I
still
am,
going at it.
Mudvayne are like gods, because they're from Peoria, so about 45 minutes away. So yeah, it's I'm sure everybody here is like completely excited that they're going to be on that tour, but I've just never been a fan of them. But and Megadeth, I mean, the new album I thought was good, but I don't know live if they can pull it off like they used to. I'm not sure. I haven't seen them in years.
Another tour going on right now. Rammstein frontman Till Lindemann. He's doing a North American solo tour. He's got a couple catchy, fun tunes, so that should be a decent concert.
Yeah.
Then to end this, I wanted to end this with a This Day in History moment. One of my favorite old school thrash albums here, Exodus, Bonded by Blood, turned 39 today, man. It's like almost 40 years old, man.
Wow.
Classic thrash, released in 85.
I remember buying this when it came out.
Scene.
I remember buying the album. I have the vinyl. I bought it when it first came out. Yeah, I remember this. The cover was like, oh my God, look at that. It was at the time it was
crazy. An
crazy.
alternative cover because that one got banned.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So yeah, very cool, very influential to the thrash scene, and I feel fucking old looking at it now, but it's great to see Exodus still out there on tour, man. You got to give these guys props. I saw them a few years back with Queens of the Stone Age, and they've toured back and forth across Canada, man, many times over the years. So
yeah,
cool.
They're fantastic live. Exodus is one of the best bands I've ever seen live. They're just tremendous, man. They bring it. Yeah, that's really, really good. I saw them with Rob Dukes, and I saw them with Steve Souza. They were great with both. Yeah, just killer. Very cool, man. That's definitely some good stuff there. Love hearing about, metal in the news, and it's just super cool. But if you guys like true crime and you like heavy metal, you could check us out on the Murder Metal Mayhem podcast. We also have that channel here. I'll link to that down below if you're interested in that. If you like this episode, though, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave us a comment. Even if you're just throwing up some horns, it helps get the video out there to more people. So we appreciate that very much. If you guys have any suggestions, topics you want to let us know about, you can leave us a comment below, or you can email me, pete@murdermetalmayhem.com. And we're going to start doing that new feature, Shane. We're going to do that next week. What do you think?
Yeah, it should be fun, man.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
Yeah, so I had this idea. Shane did the Beavis and Butthead story last week, and I got this idea of life philosophy by Beavis and Butthead. And so each week we'll read some, quote from Beavis and Butthead, Shane, that's inspiring, to somebody. So I think it'll be pretty
favorite
fun.
metalheads, man. So,
That's right.
It'll be cool.
That's right. A little humor. I like to throw a little humor in with my metal. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's for sure. So, well, guys, we have given you plenty of metal to go check out. Let us know what you think about it. Go down below to the links for the Bandcamp pages of these guys so you can support what they're doing, buy some merch, support the underground always. So, Shane, I think our job here is done. So what the hell do we need to do?
Let's throw the horns, man.